We are all the way live from Snoop Dogg's compound here in Inglewood, California. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is All About the Big 3, where we are giving you unprecedented access, of course, all about the Big 3. Make sure you are watching us and downloading that Big 3 app. Make sure you subscribe to our Big 3 YouTube channel and get ready for episode number 1. There's no bigger way than to start off, of course, with league owner Ice Cube, Big 3 champions Power, they're in the building, MVP Corey Maggette, co-captain Cuttino Mobley. Yes, they are here. Get ready. We are just days away from season 3 of the Big 3. Big3.com/tickets if you're in Detroit. If you want to watch on CBS, CBS SN, it is going down. This is All About Big 3. Get ready for the show, y'all.
Great handles and smooth in the post. No looks, high flying, putting on the show. Playing the 50, no time for a clock. 2-point, 3-point, 4-point shot. All-Stars legend, you remember their names. Big 3 on CBS Sports. Bring your A game.
It's time to play some basketball. Enough of this talking.
Absolutely, man. How great is this studio, man? They got us set up right here at Snoop Dogg's compound, man.
Oh, man, this is great. You know, this is amazing that Snoop, let us use his, sanctuary, so to speak, to do this show. So, we're proud to be here.
And you said it best. We are just days away. Detroit, Michigan, June 22nd, season 3 of the Big 3. And now live, a new network, CBS SN. How exciting is that for a league owner like Ice Cube?
Well, they the big fish. They the biggest network in America. So to be associated with CBS Sports, the best in the business, it shows you that the league is taking a step in the right direction, and that, we have great partners to present the Big 3 to the world. And it's amazing to see how far this league has come in such a short time. We're going to be on both of their networks, so we're going to be on Big CBS, and LA is Channel 2, what I mean?
Yeah.
But we also going to be on CBS SN, meaning 2 hours, 2 of our games are gonna be on Big CBS. Our last game, you just turn over to CBS SN and you there.
And Saturdays and Sundays are gonna be great weekends for the next 13 weeks.
Because to be real, Saturdays and Sundays in sports are boring as hell.
Absolutely.
You turn on TV, especially in the summer, it ain't too much on. So it's gonna be great to have the Big 3 there to satisfy that Jones that we have, on Saturdays and Sundays.
I had a chance to talk to Corey Maggette and Cuttino Mobley, Big 3 champions, and I asked them, how they, get prepared for season 3 of the Big 3. How does the league owner Ice Cube get prepared for season 3 of the Big 3?
It's everything. It's really just, like throwing a major party every week or all-star game every week. You just gotta set the stage, make sure that, everybody has a good time. Great entertainment, affordable entertainment, and great basketball with players that you're used to.
Speaking of affordable entertainment, we kick things off in just a few days. Little Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan.
Yep.
Week 1 of the Big 3, season 3. Get your tickets if you're in Detroit. You want to get them, big3.com/tickets.
Or Indiana, because we're in Indiana on Sunday.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Indianapolis, come on out.
It's going to be great. And here's what I want to do, Cube. I want you to check out these videos, and because we got new teams, we got new players, and I want to talk about one player in particular.
Okay.
Dusain Balut.
Oh, yeah.
Dusain Balut. You know the name. FIBA, the International Basketball Federation. We're going to talk about some beef that's going on with this player.
Yeah, it's some controversy with FIBA.
Now, we're going to come back to that with league owner Ice Cube, and this is all about the Big 3. Check this out.
Download the Big 3 app in the App Store and Google Play Store. Exclusive content, stats, highlights, merch, everything you want to know about the Big 3, download the Big 3 app and get it.
And we're back, all about the big three. I'm your host, Tattoo, hanging out with league owner Ice Cube. Before we checked out these videos, I was telling you about Dusan Belut. Yeah. Ice Cube, he is a Serbian pro basketball player who is currently ranked #1 in the world when it comes to men's 3-on-3 basketball, according to the International Basketball Federation, FIBA. There's some kind of controversy between this player. I got to interview him. He was drafted at the Big Three.
Yeah.
He was
drafted by the Ball Hogs.
By the Ball Hogs, and he was excited. I got to interview him. I mean, it looked like all the players at the Ball Hogs, they were so excited to pick this guy up, and he was going to be a huge, major part of the Big Three. Ice Cube, league owner, what's going on with this guy?
Well, FIBA told Dusan that he can't play. If he plays in the Big Three, he won't be able to play in the Olympics. So they basically threatened him that if he played in the Big Three, that he'd be suspended for 2 years, which would, he'd miss the Olympics. So he's not playing in the Big Three this year. And, my thing is FIBA. What the hell are you scared of? Why are you so scared of the Big Three?
Right.
Is it because that we have the best 3-on-3 basketball league in the world?
What do you think it is, Cube, that made FIBA?
I just told you, we have the best basketball league in the world. He's considered the best player in the world, and they just don't want him to go up against our competition. That's the only thing I can see. FIBA has acknowledged that they are an amateur style of 3-on-3 basketball, and we are the professional style of 3-on-3 basketball. So,
do you think there's anything that could be worked out in this situation to actually get him back and be a part of Big
Three? It can be worked out. They can let him play and stop being scary. I mean, they don't own basketball, so what difference do it make?
Have you been able to speak to Dusan Belut about this situation? Have y'all or anyone from the Big Three been able to speak to him and what his feelings are about this?
Yes, Rick Barry, who's the coach of the Ball Hogs, and Brian Scalabrine, they talked to him, and at first we were told he could play, even though he was getting threatened by FIBA. We heard from his agent that he could play. When we contacted FIBA, they refused to even talk to our commissioner or even notify Clyde Drexler what was going on. And then we ended up seeing proof that FIBA did threaten Belut, and he can't play because we don't want him to miss the Olympics. But we're just trying to figure out, at the end of the day, why would FIBA really deprive this guy of an opportunity? You never know, he could make it into the NBA by playing in the Big Three. So I just don't understand, if FIBA is supposed to be the Federal International Basketball Association or whatever, why are you stifling basketball? Why are you depriving the fans of competition?
And does this open
international competition? Right.
But does this also open your eyes and seem like, man, this can happen to another player down the line, season 4, season 5, how do we put a stop to this?
Well, we're talking to our people, our legal people, to see what legal actions that we can take. But we definitely gonna fight it. We refuse to be bullied by an organization that's been around so long. We're new on the block, but we're not, we're not gonna get treated like new booties.
Right.
So, we're gonna fight to make sure all players that want to play in the Big Three can. My question is, why isn't the Big Three players even considered to be in the Olympics to play for the United States?
Yeah.
We got the dream team.
Exactly.
I mean, we ain't got no bullshit. We got the dream team.
And you know what? I mean, it's dope, Cube, that you do care that Dusan does, go to the Olympics, which was going to seg me into my next question is, what about the Big Three in Olympics?
Well, yeah, what about that?
Exactly.
I think that's something that the fans should ask the, USA basketball. Like, why aren't we considered, or our players considered, to fight for a gold medal in Tokyo in 2020? That's, to me, it's ridiculous not to even consider the best players in the world when it comes to 3-on-3.
Hey, speaking of Tokyo, let's get into China, Big Three. Let's talk about something that's really great for the Big Three.
Yes.
Before we do that, can we get into some more highlights right here? We're coming back with league owner Ice Cube. I know you had a big trip to China. We want to talk all about that. This is all about the Big Three. Check this out.
I'm at the airport right now, getting ready to pick up Ice Cube, Clyde Drexler, Ahmed, Deshaun Stevenson, and the Iceman. Here's Big Three, ready to rock.
Ready, baby. Ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
Ready to
I like the shirt.
You like
Yeah,
that?
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah, give me some. Big Three, baby.
Big Three, baby.
China.
Before you come here, I was up here already. And now after here, I'll come back here tonight to show that you got travel safety here. To be my partner. So that's what we do.
How do you do it?
Three times. That's actually Chinese initiation. Like, we just initiate. Oh, brother. I'm your Chinese brother now.
Yeah, we're my brother. Big Three, China. We here, baby. We here.
People are still kind of curious how big we're gonna be exiting China. And that's how big is pressure, right? I'm not worried. Because I said, first of all, I'm gonna put on the best show in the world in China. I'm gonna make sure that the integrity of this Big Three name is gonna be protected. It's gonna be our baby. We want to do what you guys done for the year one. And no one else believe this thing will be this big. Yeah. People have doubt, they look at you, and you know what I'm saying? That's what we want. I want people to know, like, listen, this is it. This will be huge.
Sorry, y'all, I ain't got no haters. All I got is mother players. We get money in mother layers. Sorry, y'all, I ain't got no haters. Sorry, y'all, I ain't got no haters. All I got is maids and waiters. All I got is suits and gators. Y'all lost and I'm Las Vegas.
我们有请90家国际体育集团的主席江山先生，江总带同着 Big Three 的首席执行官，我们的创始人 Ice Cube。
Everybody's curious. How do you come up with the idea to create Big Three?
First of all, I want to say thank you to my brother Chang here and 90 Plus for just inviting us to China. You know, we've always wanted to come to China. We've talked about China from day one. Grew up loving basketball. I also wondered why 3-on-3 was not elevated to the professional level. But I said, wouldn't it be great if we had ex-NBA players who still love the game of basketball, and we can have a league where they can still play against their peers
at a high level. And me and my partner, Jeff Quantinance, we started brainstorming, thinking of rules, structure. We wanted a league where players ran their teams. So we came up with the Big 3, professional 3-on-3 basketball, the best league 3-on-3 in the world. And we're happy to bring it here to China.
That's wonderful, man. We're looking forward to it. That's it, 2019, man.
And we're back with All About the Big 3. I'm your host, Tattoo, hanging out with league owner Ice Cube. We got to see a little bit of China.
Yeah.
How was that, Cube? What takes Big 3 to China? Please talk about that.
Oh, man.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's big. It's a group out there called 90 Plus, led by Richard Chang. He contacted us. He's brought several NBA players to China, and he just gets the flavor. He loves the Big 3, and he wants to do exhibition games out there in October and November. I think we're gonna do 4 to 7 cities in China.
Damn.
We did a big press conference in Shenzhen.
Now, will this be Big 3 players taking on players from China, or just a league of its own in China?
It's going to be Big 3 players playing an exhibition game, showing the Chinese basketball fans what a Big 3 game looks and feels.
And China loves basketball, man.
Love basketball. You know, over 300 million basketball fans. You know, so it's a huge market. Richard Chang is the right partners. Them and 90 Plus. So we just happy to expand the Big 3. This is the dream. Hopefully 2020 will go over all of Asia. It's really all about building the fan base, letting people know that this is, you know, an affordable ticket. It's great for all ages. You know,
Yeah.
They love the Big 3, and you got to see, you know, 3-on-3 basketball live at this level. If we're coming to your city, you gotta get a ticket, get a couple, you know, you and your fam.
Speaking of week 1, June 22nd, we are just days away. I want to get into the matchups, but right after this is all about the Big 3.
Get official Big 3 merch at store.big3.com. You can get league and team apparel, including jerseys, jackets, hats, and more. Store.big3.com.
We are back all the way live, Snoop Dogg's compound here in Inglewood, California. This beautiful studio they got us set up with, and we are getting ready. Week 1 of the Big 3, Season 3, June 22nd. We're gonna be in Little Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan. I love what you're doing, Cube. CBS, they're gonna get to watch the new addition to the Big 3, Enemies taking on Bivouac. First of all, who names the teams, Ice Cube?
Oh man, you know, me and my team, you know, we come up with a lot of names. There's a method behind the madness, you know, beyond just 3. We want, you know, when you hear the names of our teams, that you don't think about any other basketball league, that you just think about the Big 3. So that's a trick. You know, you got to come up with names that other basketball teams haven't used. The other trick is you got to come up with names that you can get a trademark on.
Right. And you're so hands-on with your league. You're so hands-on with the Big 3.
Yeah.
What goes through the league owner when you hear, like, oh, we got Josh Smith, we got Reggie Theus as a coach, we got all these new players, Lamar Odom, Agent Zero. I mean, what kind of excitement do you still? I mean, you got to get excited for that.
Yeah, man. You know, excited to see these guys play against each other. Excited that they want to be a part of the Big 3. This is the dream. This is what we envision, and this is what everybody works so hard for. You know, I have a great team of people who put their foot in it. You know, unseen heroes. You know, so You know, that's what it's really all about, seeing these guys play against each other. I get excited just like the fans.
So game 1, week 1, you're going to catch Bivouac taking on the enemies. 2 new teams added to the Big Three. You got Josh Smith, you got Will Bynum, you got Deion Glove, you got CJ Leslie, you got Reggie Theus taking on enemies. And ladies and gentlemen, check this out, man. They're coached by Rick Mahorn, a new switch to coaching a new team. Lamar Odom, who is making huge headlines right now on his return coming to Big Three. It's a dope opportunity you're giving him, Ice Cube. And the #1 draft pick of the Big Three at this season, Royce White. Give us some information on Royce too, man. How dope is that, having him to be a part of the Big Three?
Great. You know, I think Royce is a great player. He didn't get a chance to show what he could do in the NBA, but, you know, he's ready to show what he can do in the Big Three. This matchup is going to be very interesting. You got 2 teams that I think are pretty stacked. Even though I give the enemies the edge a little bit on paper. But this is their first Big Three game, and you never know how you're going to do until you get out there. So that is really a toss-up on who is going to come out on top.
I love I love it. It's exciting to see the new teams going against each other, the new players balling up against each other, and you get to see it all the way live on CBS.
Yeah, you know, I just think it's fair to have the new teams going against each other. You know, both of them are still going to, you know, try to get they feet wet and they sea legs under them when it comes to this league. And so I just thought it was fair that they'd play each other.
And if that's not enough for you, game 2, week 1, Detroit, it's going down. Three's Company taking on the champions, Big Three champions, Power. How do you see that game going?
Oh, man, I see it, you know, as a fist fight. Like, you know, Power want to prove there's no fluke. Three's Company want to, you know, get a little revenge. I love when this kind of stuff happens, you know, when it comes to NFL and NBA, you know, when the champions have to play against their runner-ups, you know, early in the season. So this is great. So basketball fans, Big Three fans, you know, this is a great way to kick the season off. You're going to see a real matchup. That's why, you know, we made the Big Three rules where the champion has to retain, they have to defend their title with the same team. We don't get a chance to see a lot of that in sports, you know, just pretty much in boxing, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we get a chance to see if it was a fluke or was it real.
Yeah, you may see some boxing too out there, man. These players look like they want to go. I hope not, too. But that's
they almost got down during the championship.
Man, you know?
Yeah, it was a little pushing and shoving during the championship game.
And then we go to CBS SM, CBS Sports Network for Game 3 to repeat a rematch of the Season 1 championship. Three-headed monsters taking on Trilogy. Ice Cube, talk about it.
Hey, you know, both teams, you know, had great Season 1s. Three's Company had a great Season 2. They just fell short. Trilogy is, you know, they look totally different than they did year 1. They have, you know, a lot of new players. David Hawkins moved over there. They got Jason Terry now.
Oh, nice. A new addition, new member, a new player of the Big Three.
Carlos Aurora. So I think, you know, they revamped.
And they got Kenyon Martin as their coach.
Yeah, Kenyon, you know, he retired from the Big Three and became a coach. That's why Rick Mahorn moved over to the enemies. And so it's going to be interesting. You know, it's a team that, you know, when they all are rowing the same way, they can be very dangerous. But, you know, it's a team that's volatile, too, that have a lot of strong personalities, so we'll see. They're
going to be taking on the three-headed monsters, of course, coached by Gary Payton. Rashard Lewis had a bad injury last season, man, and is he coming back?
Yeah, he's back. You know, he's ready. You know, he's ready to fight for a title. His season was cut short last year, and you know, he believes if he was there, it'd be a different story.
Talk about Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. How big is and how important is he to the Big Three league, man?
Well, some guys just got a mystique. You know, Allen Iverson had that mystique. Nate Robinson has a mystique. And Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf has the mystique. People want to see him play. Gilbert Arenas got it too. People just want to see him play. And he's so skilled. you know, he's like a wizard out there. He works just as hard as any, you know, young player. So to have him as our, you know, one of our oldest players, and to still see him, you know, wet, giving them buckets, it's just amazing. I think it just, you know, it has a place in everybody's heart, you know, that's over 45.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a great thing to see. And, you know, it shows you that you're a baller no matter what your age or what stage.
And you can watch this game on CBS SN. We're gonna come right back. We're gonna talk about June 23rd, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Indiana, we're going back to Indiana. It's going down, man. I'm coming back with league owner Ice Cube right after this. This is all about the Big Three.
Yeah, what's up? This your homeboy Ice Cube. And y'all know what it is. I'm bringing the Big Three to your city. That's right, hard-nosed, competitive 3-on-3 basketball done at the pro level in your town. Where you gonna be when the Big Three is in your city? I know I'm gonna be there, and I expect to see you in the place, baby.
And we are back. This is all about the Big Three, June 23rd. Now, we're on 2 days a week now.
Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, that's huge, man. That is huge, Ice Cube. We're going to be at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. Get your tickets, big3.com/tickets if you are in Indianapolis, because you don't want to miss the aliens taking on the triplets.
No.
Lisa Leslie,
Yes.
coach of the triplets. Joe Johnson, captain of the triplets. And this is the second female to be coaching with the Big Three. Q, what makes that decision where you're like, you know what, let's bring in more women to the league and highlight them?
Well, we want, you know, the most qualified coaches that we can find, you know, not only with the skills, but with the cachet. You know, she's a Hall of Famer, a champion, gold medalist, you know, so she's won at every level. So we expect her to win at this level too. We're not just hiring female coaches, you know, we're hiring the best coaches
Legends, champions.
we can find. Yeah, you know, this is what we want. We want people that our players are gonna respond to. We want people that our players are gonna respect. You know, our players are champions. They all stars. They first round picks. So you need somebody with the cachet to be, you know, Hall of Fame status, to be able to communicate with people that's, you know, on their way to the Hall of Fame, or people that's, you know, still you know, playing at a high level, you know.
And I was on the Big Three app, which is a great app, by the way, guys. You guys should download the Big Three app. The only way you can catch all about the Big Three. And I seen an interview with Lisa Leslie, and I love what she said, that she has her own daughters too, and she wants to set that be that role model, and for all young women to go on out there and pursue their dreams and give it all they got too, man.
Yeah, you know, don't let society stop you. That's the attitude of the Big Three. A lot of people, you know, expected us to fail or not be here, or not even try, and here we are.
And you got the triplets taking on another new team, the Aliens. Andre Owens, Brandon Rush, Greg Oden,
Yes.
who was the #1 pick in the NBA overall.
Yeah.
Here he is now, you know, with the Big Three, and of course they're being coached by Nate Archibald. How do you see this matchup going against each other? Aliens versus triplets, new teams of the Big Three.
New teams, both probably, you know, have a lot to prove and try to get off on the right foot. You know, a few stories of redemption. You know, Greg Oden.
Yeah,
probably
it's gonna be dope to see him in 3-on-3 action, man. You know,
to do a good. He probably wants to do, you know, show good. Andre Owens, you know, didn't quite make it with the Pacers, so he's probably have a lot to prove to Indiana. So, you know, two expansion teams going at it. So I'm excited to see how they play, how they handle the Big Three, and who comes out with the victory.
We're gonna go fast forward to game 2. It's going down. Charles Oakley. He's coaching Killer Threes. Steven Jackson, Josh Powell, Franklin Sessions from the Drew League, man. Frank Nitti. How does that happen, Ice Cube?
Well, it's really all about Steven Jackson. You know, Steven Jackson became a captain of killer threes. Chauncey Billups retired. So, Steven, when you become a captain, you get a chance to play with who you want to play with. And he picked Frank. It's kind of cool to see that, to see Steven Jackson back in Indiana, to see C.J. Watson back in Indiana.
Where all the controversy went down. Man. We'll never forget that whole Ron Artest, Steven Jackson.
Yeah, and all that. And they going against Jermaine O'Neal, who was a Pacer too. So who runs Indiana? You know, they going against Tri-State. They got a squad too with Amari, Jason Richardson, you know, Nate Robinson, coached by Dr. J. So that's going to be, you know, a heavyweight fight to see who runs Indiana.
And it's going to be great to see Nate and Jason Richardson, two slam dunk competitors, you know what I'm saying? I did talk to Jason Richardson as well, and I asked him, yo, are you ready to, you know, to slam?
Man, please.
And he's ready, man.
I mean, you know, in the league, when he played in the NBA, he had about a 48-foot vertical, you know, 48-inch vertical. And now I think he got probably about a 45. So he lost a step, you know what I mean? But he's still getting this high over the rim.
Oh, man.
So it's going to be incredible to see them dudes go at it.
And then we're going to go to CBS SN, where you can catch the Ball Hogs taking on the Ghost Ballers. And we touched on it earlier on the show. And I mean, it's got to suck for the freaking Ball Hogs to lose a player who the FIBA considers the top #1 3-on-3 professional basketball player in the world, man.
Yeah, it's a shame for basketball. It's a shame for basketball fans. I'm pretty sure that Deshaun wanted to show what he can do against, you know, real top-level competition, and he's not going to get a chance to do that because FIBA, for whatever reason, are afraid to see, you know, their best player against Big Three competition.
Well, they're going to be taking on the Ghost Ballers, coached by the Iceman, George Gervin. They got Jamario Moon, Mike Taylor, Ricky Davis, Mike Bibby, Carlos Boozer.
Yeah.
How do you see this matchup here, Cube?
Oh, you know, it's a toss-up. You know, both squads, I think, are evenly matched. You know, both squads have had trouble the first 2 years in the Big Three, even though the Ghost Ballers had a better year one. It's an opportunity for one of them to start the season off right. And walk away with a win. So I think they're gonna fight desperately to just start the season off right.
Well, hey, Ice Cube, man, I want to thank you so much for having me be a part of All About the Big Three.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting it with me, our first episode. You guys, make sure you get your tickets. We're going to be in Indianapolis. We're going to be in Detroit, big3.com/tickets. And if you're not able to get into that arena, if you're not able to join us all the way live, make sure you're watching on CBS Sports Network, and make sure you're watching us here every week at the Big Three app, Big Three YouTube. Subscribe right now.
Enough of all this damn talking. Let's play ball.
Let's do it, man. And you know what? Get your merchandise, man. I love the new merchandise. It's out there for you. Big3.com.
Get official Big Three merch at store.big3.com. You can get league and team apparel, including jerseys, jackets, hats, and more. Store.big3.com. Great handles and smooth in the post. No looks, high flying, putting on the show. Playing the 50, no time for a clock. 2-point, 3-point, 4-point shot. All-Stars legend, you remember their names. Big Three on CBS Sports. Bring your A-game.
MVP of the Big Three, Corey Maggette. How you doing, Corey? I'm good, man. Cat, co-captain of Power, man.
How you doing?
Champions. How's that feel?
Well, it feels good. It's a blessing. I think our entire team, I mean, you look at what we accomplished, but the year before we had major injuries that had a setback for our team. And we worked hard to get back to the position, and we were able to win a championship.
And Cuttino, let me ask you, co-captain, you played every game with Big Three. What do you do to keep that reign, to keep those rings, to keep that title, and remain champions of Big Three?
You know, to add to what Corey's saying, you just gotta, stay with the process. And the refining part is more so, not so much basketball, because the older you get, is more so working on your body.
And I think we've been trying our best to just work on our bodies because we know it's going to be a load. With the addition of 4 more teams and a lot of talent, they're going to be coming after us. And we have to withstand that. So I think not so much basketball, like I said before, and more so tapes, videos, watching guys, seeing the tendencies, and just trying to cut a lot of that off and put their percentages as low as possible.
Well, we're just days away from our first game, week 1 of Big 3, season 3, now on CBS. How dope is that?
Oh man, what a cool start of the season to get a big sponsor, as far as with a network and CBS. And we want to come out with a bang. And Cube, as well as Jeff Kwanzaa, the entire staff, have done an unbelievable job of trying to get the best for the Big 3.
Three's Company is your first matchup. We're gonna have a rematch of the Big 3 finals.
Yeah.
What is that gonna tell you going in and playing against a team that you guys beat? Of course, Corey, you had Cuttino, you had the winning shot of the finals. What does that show you guys? You guys going in and playing against Three's Company again, and if you guys win, if you beat them, or if they beat you, how is that gonna psychologically do to team power?
Well, I really don't think our year is dictated on that first game. I just think that we have to feel it out. They've added a couple of players, and their players are younger than ours, and they're going to come, full throttle. So I'm more focused on how we start off, and just to try to stay as healthy as possible. And I'm very confident. I told Corey this after the first year. As long as I have Corey Maggette, I'm okay. My IQ is high enough. Corey's is high enough for us to not say get by, but compete to the highest level.
Yo, and I love hearing you guys, before we even got started with this, I can hear you guys just talking, what you guys got to do, how you guys are going to go into season 3, and it's serious.
Yeah.
You guys are serious about this.
Yeah.
This is professional 3-on-3 basketball. What do you do, Cuttino? You played every game season 3. What do you do to keep yourself motivated, to stay in shape, and to keep that gas going in you?
I think a lot of praying, a lot of body work. You know what I mean? Like I'm just lucky enough to have a body like that where it's minor injuries don't set me back too far. I've always been that type of person where I just always stay in shape. There's a lot of friends that's up there, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yo, let me ask MVP of the Big 3 season 3. We're here. What's it like being under the coaching skills of Nancy Lieberman?
When they came in and said, hey, we're considering bringing Nancy Lieberman as your coach, and I was like, okay, that's no problem. It had nothing to do with that Nancy was a woman.
Right.
We know her skill level. We know that she's a Hall of Famer. Her nickname is Lady Magic. And so for our team, we were excited. Something new. The year before, we had Clyde Drexler, who's a Hall of Famer as well. So now we get another Hall of Famer. And I think Nancy came in with the right approach. At that time, she was with the New Orleans Pelicans on their staff. And so she came in with that NBA approach as far as business-like. I remember our first practice, she had her booklet, she had all of our stats, all of our tendencies.
Yeah.
And so, for me, personally, you had to change your mindset. Like, this is almost like the NBA, but this is the Big 3. This is something different. And she's bringing the same type of passion and love for the game. And we were really excited. That first day, I was excited. And Cuttino said, man, you know what? We can do something special. And I think we just really worked our tails off, and Nancy put in an unbelievable amount of work to put us in a position to be champions.
Let me ask you this, Corey. Do you feel an advantage being the only team that stays the same for season 3 of the Big 3?
Well, it's a little different with the new age difference. So now you have younger guys coming in. I think for our team personally, we have more chemistry. I mean, Cuttino, I've played with Cuttino for years in the NBA. I've known Quentin Richardson. We grew up together. I have a great relationship with Big Baby as well as the Birdman. And so from a chemistry standpoint, I think we are pretty good. And
we know each other.
We know each other, but we still have to play the game.
We can cuss each other
and play
out.
the right way.
We can do everything, but we know what we're going to do on the court, and I think that's what helps us out a lot, even though Cube took the age down to 27.
What was you, 48?
Yeah,
I think he's like 48
I'm
or something.
halfway to 50, man. I got to chase
You
around
know
these
what
guys,
though,
man.
Cuttino? I seen you a couple days ago, man, out at UCLA. You're out there balling with with cats that play for UCLA.
Yeah.
You're out there doing your thing. I mean, you literally you have to keep doing and playing as much as you can to stay in shape to be ready for season 3 of the Big 3. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I have to play like I used to 8, 9 games and try to dominate, but it's just about the flow. And basketball is a rhythm sport. And, you know, for me, I've been blessed, like I said before, enough to be able to play in different leagues and play with the younger guys. And whether it's 3 or 4 games, I just kind of get my little, you know, my rhythm in, and then I can just walk off the court, but I know that I'm ready.
We're going to come back with captain, co-captain, Corey Maggette, MVP of Power, Cat, Cuttino, Mobley. We're going to talk more about season 3 of the Big 3. Check this out. We're coming right back.
Oh, Maggette injured his Achilles. And Maggette can't put any weight on that right leg.
Will you be back playing in the Big 3?
I will be back playing in Big 3, not this year, but hopefully next season.
Year 2 of the Big 3.
Corey Maggette coming off an injury.
Maggette will rock the rim. League scoring leader for 3. Nothing but net. Count it. Corey Maggette's got the hot hand. Yes. Here's Maggette. Hesitated. Lays it up and in. He's going to drive to the right. Lays it in. For the win. Corey Maggette and Power. They're the 2018 Big 3 champions.
And you guys now got Mikal Thompson, the brother of Klay Thompson, a new addition.
Some young, more athletic ability to help us out, stretch the floor, and be able to play above the rim, and guard some of those big guards as well.
Is that could be an advantage, a disadvantage, is having a new member to Power?
Well, I would say, you know, the reason we went with Thompson, we felt he can move, he can shoot, he can defend, he's a bigger guard, and we need that for our team. We need bigger guards that can go in and be agile enough to play hard defense and to score the basketball. And so for our team, it's more about being really strategic on what guys we pick.
Are you guys ready to get those rings? That's gonna be a great moment, right? I mean, to get those rings. I mean, you guys are the Big 3 champions, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cat, I mean, and Tattoo, we look at the position our last game. We had injuries. Cat pulled his groin, so he actually shouldn't have played. I actually pulled both of my hamstrings, like the last game. And when you look at how we played, you know, it was only the man upstairs that was actually just kind of guiding us. Cat ended up hitting the game winner for our team. But man, it's such a blessing. We can't. We're looking forward to these rings. For us, it's like the NBA Finals. Just, you know, it just finished. It's the same. I mean, the experience of the Big 3 is the same.
It's so funny, Corey.
It's unbelievable. I can't wait.
We were playing a game, and championship game, and I think they were cutting the lead down. And I turned to Corey, and Corey's on the bench. You looked at me and you were cussing at me like, yo, stop playing around and score. I'm like, what do you want me to do? My thing hurt so bad, I can't even move. I felt helpless for a minute. And then not having Corey out there, because he was on the bench for a second to kind of rest, like he said, the man upstairs just kind of guided us to that one.
You know what? And that's what's so dope about this show right here, All About Big 3, is that we can get information like this that people that are watching, you know, they're able to capture now. Let me ask both of you this. What is the hardest thing about playing professional 3-on-3 basketball, Big 3?
Whew. You know, it's like, it's not about your name, it's about your game. And if you don't have any game.
I think you have to be mentally tough.
Mentally tough.
You have to be really mentally tough.
But just think about it. A lot of times in 5-on-5 basketball, you have more help defense.
And you can hide.
And you can hide.
You can hide.
You can hide. And I know several times, you know, in NBA, I would hide too on defense because, hey, we want you to score. If this guy is cooking you, we got to have some help on the backside. And so now I think, you know, a lot of guys have really worked on their defense. And I think that's what we worked on more on the summer, is more about defense and being able to help and being able to move laterally to be able to help our team.
We got 4 new teams, Bivouac, Aliens, Triplets, Enemies. We got new players. Corey Maggette, MVP. Who are you looking forward to matching up against this season? Anybody in particular you're looking forward to playing against this season?
Actually, all 4 new teams. And I think on every team, there's a different caliber player that can be very successful on the court. And then you look at the triplets and you bring in another woman as Lisa Leslie, who's a Hall of Famer, a former champion in WNBA, they're going to be well coached.
That's going to be nice when we see her match up against Nancy.
And Nancy, and you have Joe Johnson on their team, as well as Al Jefferson. So, Joe Johnson played in the league for 17 years.
One of my favorites.
One of my favorite players. His name is ISO Joe. And he's a 7-time All-Star. So these players that we've already competed against from a 5-on-5 standpoint, and now you get to play them. Basically it's like you play on a playground, and you get a chance to go at these guys one-on-one, mano-a-mano in a 3-on-3 setting, and so it's going to be special to watch. And then from the enemies, you have Gilbert Arenas, who was one of the most dynamic players in the NBA. I mean, when he came in the league, right from the tip, once the ball was thrown up, Gilbert was going 100 miles an hour, and you had to catch up to what Gilbert was doing. And it'd be amazing to see him play. It'd be amazing to see Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was on my team with the Clippers, and the comeback story for Lamar Odom. That's why the Big Three is so important, to give guys a second chance. I'm thankful, and I can't wait to see every player.
All right, guys. Well, we're just days away. June 22nd, Little Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Three's Company takes on Big Three champions Power. If Three's Company's watching right now, if all the members of Three's, all the players at Three's Company's watching right now, what do you got to say to them? What do you got to say to them, Cuttino?
Don't say nothing crazy, Cam.
Listen, I've never been that type of person. I love all those guys. I respect all those guys. But I'm going to tell this to the fans out there: you're going to get what you pay for. And we're going to play hard.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You get what you pay for. Big3.com/tickets. Big3.com/tickets. This is all about Big 3.